Hello and welcome to Chapter 9, Supporting Mobile Devices. Again, remember, I'm going to ask you to take notes so you can submit them as homework. All right, let's begin. What are the types of mobile devices that are out there? Well, you're probably familiar with a lot of these. We got smartphones, tablets, e-readers, wearable technologies, um, virtual reality sets, right? Um, the mobile devices operating system. There's really two big ones, the Google Android and the Apple iOS. But there's also the Windows 10 mobile and the Google Chrome for the Chromebooks, if you are not familiar with it. All right, so let's get into the mobile the Google Android operating system. So let's talk about that first. And and well, we'll see. Let's see. So let's with Google Android's operating system, most new phones and tablets that shipped with Oreo installed, although Android Pie is released on some old models. By the way, the names that Google uses for their Androids follow the desserts based on desserts. And it started out with honeycomb with like the 3.x. All right, on Android's phones, up to 5 apps or groups of apps can be pinned to the favorites tray, just above the navigation part, by the way. Right, and a digital assistant also service or the app can be called upon as your personal assistant, responds to users' voice commands. A Google account is required to download content from Google Play. So all the apps in Google Play you need to have an account to get in there to download all the different free apps or paid apps. If you wanted to develop um, Android apps, an app developer can download Android Studio to his or her computer from the developer.android.com. Included in the download are some of the SDK tools and Android emulator. The SDK, which stands for Software Developer Kit, is a group of tools that developers use to write apps. And Android emulator is the software that creates the virtual Android device, complete with virtual hardware. You know, the buttons, the cameras, and even the device orientation. A working installation of the Androids and native apps. All right, the other big operating system is the Apple iOS. All right, write these 2 points about the Apple iOS. The only place to go for for the apps, is Apple. You have nowhere else to go. Apple is the sole distributor of the iOS apps and its App Store. And the other point I want you to write down is that other developers can write apps for the iPhone or iPad, but these apps must be sent to Apple for close scrutiny. Apple double checks, so make sure everything's good before they upload them into their App Store. All right, the other ones are, we got the Microsoft Windows Mobile. Most Windows phones have 3 buttons. Not mistaken. Where's the Windows? There you go. Down here, you got the start, the back, and the search button. Windows apps are obtained through Microsoft Store app, just like Android and Apple. And Windows mobile apps can be obtained from a third party, just like Android, from a third party websites, from the browser or your mobile device. All right, and finally, the other operating system for mobile devices are the Google Chrome operating system. So write these points down again for Google Chrome. Chrome operating system is deeply integrated with Google Chrome browser. Okay, that's number 1. And so most of the Chrome's operating native apps open directly in Chrome browser and rely heavily on having an internet connection. All right, number 2, Chromebooks come with a variety of external ports depending on the manufacturers and who makes them. So Apple maybe, I'm not Apple. I'm sorry, HP, Dell makes a lot of Chromebooks. They're they're the least type of expensive laptops. They don't support a lot of what Windows does, a lot of the apps, but it is definitely, it's a big hit in elementary schools, high schools nowadays, and even college students. All right, the third point I want you to write about Google Chrome operating system is that Chrome operating system is automatically updated about every 6 weeks and includes some significant security measures to protect the computer from malware, including built-in virus protection. It used sandboxing, verified boot, power washing, and quick updates. So it is not bad. That's something that if you have, kids that want to use, I got a couple of Chromebooks for my kids, so the least expensive way to get them playing around with computers, and they can do a lot with it. Anyway, so configuring and syncing a mobile device. So mobile device LAN and WAN connections include Wi-Fi connections, GPS, NFS, Bluetooth, and cellular connections. So all of these mobile devices will have the Wi-Fi, the GPS, the the NFC, Bluetooth, and cellular, right? The word tethering is, I know we discussed that before, is when you have a smartphone is tethered by a USB to a laptop so that the laptop can use the cellular network to connect to the internet, right? Here's something I want you to write, because a lot of the phone, you need to know, a lot of the phones have the IMEI, which stands for International Mobile Subscriber Identity. This is the unique number that identifies the cellular subscription for a device or a subscriber, along with its home country and mobile network. This number is stored in the SIM card for network that uses SIM cards. All right, so this is important because if your phone is lost and you called up your service provider, they know what's your IME number, and they'll if they label that as stolen, you will not be able to use the phone. All right, so that's a good subscriber identity number. All right, the other thing that you need to know is mobile service accessories, which include for your mobile devices, for your phone, tablets. You could have, they have wireless keyboards, speakers, earbuds, headsets, game pads, docking stations. Probably familiar with a lot of those. Printers, extra battery packs, chargers, USB adapters, right? What else? Memory cards, card readers, protective covers, and so on, right? Now, let's get into the smartphones, tablets, and wearable devices can make wired connection to a computer, of course. You want to download pictures or something like that. They either use a micro USB, USB-C connection, or a mini USB, or a lightning port. All right. The wireless connection that they use may use Bluetooth, infrared, NFC, the near field communication. You have to be very, very close, but you can get a lot of bandwidth, and the 802.11 as well, right? So if you are within, 4 inches with the NFC. All right, moving on. Configure the mobile device for email and using the browser for an email client application. This is pretty straightforward. You can use the browser, or you can use the email client that they have. You just need to provide your email most of the time and your password, and within a couple of clicks, you'll be able to get there very quickly. If you're using an Imap setup, you need to know your email address, like I said, and your password. name of the incoming and outgoing servers, you know, the SMTP and the POP server. It's not a POP server, it's IPv4. If you're using Yahoo or Gmail, that's automatic. You don't even have to know these. You know, the client software will pick it up immediately. All right. So what else do you need to know? I think most of us already did that. You can sync and back up your mobile devices. Syncing data to the cloud means that you can access your data from any device or any computer with a web browser connected to the internet. All right. Google storage in the cloud. So write this down. It's always good because Google gives us a lot of free stuff. Google storage in the cloud. Android syncs Google apps to third-party apps on your device to your Google storage at google.com. The first 15 gigabyte is free. That's nice. Also, a single sign-on, SSO, also called mutual authentications for multiple services, gives us access to Gmail, Google Drives, Calendar, Contacts, and other Google apps. So once you sign in with your Google email, you have access to all of that. Now, the iCloud storage, they sync the content to Apple websites at iCloud.com. The first 5 gigabytes, so a little bit more stingy, Apple. The first gigabyte in the cloud is free. And once you load that up, you know, they keep nagging you for getting to pay for more. But anyway, OneDrop, for example, Dropbox, and other apps provide cloud-based storage services that will sync the entire folders in the background with no user interventions required to any computer or any device. So if you have iDrive, Dropbox, OneDrive, you can use it just like if it was a regular, if it's on your hard drive. You can save, upload. You don't even have to upload. Just open up the file from OneDrive or the Dropbox, and you'll be able to, once you save it, saves it directly in the cloud. All right, but that actually, believe it or not, that requires some space on your physical drive to do that, and memory. So your computer might be running slow a little bit if you having Dropbox open automatically and OneDrive opens up automatically, so you can be directly connected to the cloud. Updates, by the way, to the Android operating system are done automatically, pushed to the device from the manufacturers, because each manufacturer maintains its own versions of Android. Remember, Android runs on almost every mobile device except Apple. So each one will have their own updates. Backup and recovery includes file level backup, sync your email, contact, etc., and all of that. Partial image backups or a combination of both. Google Drive backups to enable Android backup feature. Open the settings app and go to the system and tap, and using the tap backup, if I'm not mistaken. The iCloud backup, where are we here? The iCloud backup, you can go to settings and tap the username, then tap the iCloud. Scroll down on the tap iCloud backup. When you turn the iCloud backup, it backs up whenever your device is plugged into the power source and connected to the Wi-Fi. All right, now, what happens if you want to set up, okay, we talked about that. If you want to set up your mobile device, securing your mobile device. So what we'll do, we'll wait right here. We'll finish that up on the next video. So please write the couple of notes that I asked you to write up and just upload them. We'll finish this chapter on the next video. I'll see you then.